Hi everyone. With me today I have Lance Scoular, the Savvy Navigator of Key Directions. Hi Lance.
Brandon, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Lance, before we get going, tell me a bit about why you got the name and what the Savvy Navigator is all about.
Yeah, it's a bit edgy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's actually come through, I've been running courses for quite a long time now, and probably about 20 years or so, and what I've found is that some of the people that I've helped in the courses, particularly those that want some extra mentoring or training, they've called me the go-to guy.
Yep.
They say, well, you know, I've tried searching for things and I don't know the right person, and I finally asked Lance, and Lance either knows the solution or knows someone who knows someone.
Yeah.
And so one way you're going to get that. So I guess my basic aim is to people know how to navigate the minefields of international trade, because there's lots of things that can submerge your journey into international trade if you don't do the right thing. So I help people by navigating through the minefield, so to speak. Sounds a bit dramatic, but
I mean, a lot of stuff can go wrong.
Exactly.
I mean, so you need someone, or at least the knowledge of how to, get your goods from one part of the world to the other without too much going wrong. Fantastic. I understand that most of your life, your professional life, you've been a customs broker.
Correct.
Tell us a little bit how you got started in being a customs broker. A lot of people, see customs brokers as part of, the government or a completely different profession that they might not, understand or identify with. And it's just curious to people at home, how did you get started and what was your journey like being a customs broker?
Yeah, well, it started out really as a kid. My father was an export manager for Horlicks Malted Milk, and they had a factory down at Nowra, which is probably about 3 hours drive south of Sydney. And I grew up hearing at the dinner table all the challenges and the things that were happening, wharf strikes and problems with Department of Foreign Affairs and primary industry getting permits for milk because it's a food product. And so I grew up knowing a lot about the stevedoring industry, the shipping industry, and in those days air freight wasn't really much happening in those days.
Yeah, it was all by sea.
This was the 50s.
Yeah.
And so when I left school, I had this sort of bit of an indication that maybe trade was something I'd look at. Had a few different options, and I applied for a customs broking and shipping agency position, and I got that. That was the first one I got, so I took it. And it was actually in Sussex Street in Sydney, which in those days was all the wharves were in Sydney Harbour. They've now gone to Port Botany for containerisation, but yeah, I guess that's how I got into it. And from there, after about 18 months, I decided to improve myself. So I went to a multinational company, American company called 3M Australia, very big in
3M, they make the little post-it notes and all this
many products actually.
Huge company.
Huge,
yep.
Yeah. And I was in the customs section of their purchasing department. And I also liaised with the export department, the insurance department. So I was there for a few years, got married, and I thought, well, let's get some more experience. And so I went to another American company, this time in the health industry, called Baxter Healthcare. It was known differently in those days, but Baxter Healthcare is not far from here, down at Toongabbie. And I was in charge of the import-export function of that company, and we imported from many parts of the world, often from subsidiaries, but also from other companies and other companies as well. So we also exported to the South Pacific, to New Zealand, Southeast Asia, and so it was quite a dynamic company, and I learnt a lot about all the aspects of international trade, import, export, dealing with banks and letters of credit, all that sort of thing. And I'd been studying at TAFE, management certificate, so I got that, and I also went for my customs broker's exams, passed them, and I thought, well, why not start up my own business? So that's what I did.
Fantastic. So tell us, so you help companies, you were in-house helping companies, but tell us a bit about your history helping individuals, like the people at home watching this, how to import and deal with all the customs products, and especially from China.
Sure. So down the track, after a number of years, I merged with a freight forwarding company, and we provided lots of service. And we started doing courses because we could see there was a need for people to understand what the processes were. The marketing side of things, a lot of people can pick that up because there's lots of information on marketing, but not so much on the actual blow by blow processes and procedures that you have to go through to get goods from one country to another, whether that's import, whether it's export. So we started training courses, and out of that we started helping people that said, well, look, this is my idea, how can you help me? And what we found is, as the years progressed, that more Australian companies were taking their manufacturing, and where were they going? China. And in fact, some of one of our major clients actually had been buying from many parts of Southeast Asia, Korea, Hong Kong, Singapore, Taiwan, but they actually set up a plant to manufacture their own products in China. And even that had its own problems of getting the quality right. And we had a number of problems even with quarantine, in that they weren't going through the procedures we laid out for them. They were trying to cut a few corners,
yes,
and that actually held them up.
Yeah.
And what would have been a simple procedure of fumigation over in China ended up being, they were examined here, they had to go off, and because of the nature of the goods, it was quite a complex fumigation procedure here in Australia. It wasn't just fumigate the whole container, they had to take the pallets out and put them in a little chamber because of the nature of the goods. So it became thousands of dollars of problems.
Yes.
So another guy that came to a course a few years ago, in fact, there was two people in the class, they ended up working together, not in a company together, but one of them now lives in Macau, and he travels through China.
Yes. And
they started importing goods for cutting out their middlemen for the products they were using here in Australia.
Yes.
But then Simon started to go to factories and say, can you make my design? And so now he's done that, and he's also looking
directly to the source.
Exactly.
Yep.
And now he's designing his own products in areas that he hadn't even thought of before. And now he's looking at contracts into America where people are going to buy the rights to his trademarked and patented products. So, there's a lot of opportunities in China to manufacture to your own specifications, or just buy things that are already available.
But you've got to know how to get it, satisfy customs, which is different in each country and whatnot.
This is true.